I hate TV because because I'm better than you. Actually, all the reasons that I hate TV is probably because I'm dumber than you. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to it if this is the first time you are seeing my face. Thank you for clicking on it. My name is Jacy and I like to do story times, chit chats, and rants on this channel. And today's video is gonna be definitely a ranty chit chat, and it's gonna be on the topic of why I don't like television and why I just can't get into really current popular TV shows. This video is very much inspired by the recent season finale of Stranger Things, so if you haven't seen it yet, don't watch this video because there's like minor spoilers. But I just wanted to rant to give you guys some of the reasons why I am just a TV hater. And I don't know, maybe you guys might change my mind with some recommendations down in the comments, or you can tell me if you agree, disagree, whatever works, because I love talking to you guys in the comments. So if you like videos like this, make sure to like this video. It really helps me out. And if you like me outside of ranting about modern entertainment, make sure to follow me on social media. I am on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, so you can follow more to my day-to-day life and activities. But with that being said, let's hop into some of the more unconventional reasons of why I just don't like television. So first and foremost, I just want to mention that it's not that I don't like TV because it's like, oh, I like to spend my time doing more educational and mentally nourishing things. Like, no, I'm on TikTok for 4 hours a day. I understand the pleasures of television. It's just the specific medium of stretching out a story over hours and hours and hours versus like an hour and a half to 2 hour long movie that I have a problem with. So here are some of the reasons why I just can't get into TV. Reason number one is I have decision fatigue. So I do have access to all of the streaming services that are out there. I am what the cool kids call a password sharer. I know, pretty illegal if I do say so myself, but I do dabble in password sharing, so I have access to Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, Fubo. I got them all. I have all the passwords to them. But the problem is that having access to all of those streaming platforms and their thousands and thousands of TV show options, I feel that that is more overwhelming rather than knowing what I want to watch. So every day I'm constantly bombarded with, oh my gosh, have you seen this show? You gotta watch it. You gotta watch this show. Check out this show. But by the time I sit down to focus on a TV show, there's so many options. There's so many things on my homepage where it's recommended to me, or so many seasons and seasons of shows that I'm just like, this is too overwhelming. I don't even know where to begin. But with the idea of there being this decision fatigue of I don't even know what TV show to click on and start watching, I also get very overwhelmed with the idea that I have to start immersing myself into this completely new universe. So I gotta learn the characters, what they do for work, how they're connected to each other, which characters have some sexual tension and will probably hook up in season 3. And who owns the dog and who owns the cat, like all of that sort of thing. But I just get very overwhelmed with the idea that like I have to pay attention and learn all these new characters that I'd rather just put something on that's so much more familiar and comforting rather than dedicating myself to learning an entire new universe. So kind of piggybacking off that idea of this fatigue and overwhelm is reason number 2 of why I don't like television, and that is that I just have the world's worst attention span. And I don't even blame it on TikTok. Like, yes, my attention span has gone way downhill since TikTok, but I've always been one of those people where I could never actively watch television. TV was always a passive thing in the background because I needed to be doing something while watching television. So growing up, I would latch hook. Nowadays, I cross stitch. I would be doing a puzzle. I would be editing videos or photos, or I will be scrolling on social media, or I will be looking at photos and organizing albums. I am not a person who can just sit down and actively watch the TV and that's all I'm doing. I need to be doing something with my hands. And so because of that, it's very difficult for me to watch television and learn these new characters, learn their storylines. Because a great example would be, I remember watching Game of Thrones many years ago because all my coworkers were watching it, and because if I'm being honest, I just wanted to understand all of the memes on the internet. So I started watching Game of Thrones, and it was during my makeup era where I was coming home from work, sitting down, and for hours every night, I would just be playing with my makeup. So that was the main activity, and then watching Game of Thrones was in the background. So I'd be trying to like practice my cut crease, but then every now and then look down and be like, oh, that's Robb Stark? Got it. I've been hearing his name, but I haven't been paying attention, but now I got the face to the name. Nailed it. Oh, what? He's dead now? Dang it, I didn't learn anybody else but him and now he's gone and he's dead. So it was like, I couldn't actively watch a TV show because they'd either like kill off the characters or I could never fully learn who was who because it was always just more of a passive idea. And so also because of my terrible, terrible attention span, where not only do I need to be doing something and I can't just sit down and watch TV, but the TV show has to get to the point. Because if they don't get to the point fast enough, if they don't move the plot along, I am done. I don't think I've watched any TV show more than 3 seasons. I've seen some, again, kind of passively, but I can't last past season 3 because it feels like so many TV shows just don't get to the point. They're just there for mindless entertainment, and I need a plot in order to survive. So I can't do the shows where it's just like shenanigans every little episode, but no plot moves forward, or if it is, it's one long season-long romance. Like I can't do The Office, or Parks and Rec, or Community, or those sitcom-y shows where it's all just about like the little shenanigans where a lesson is neatly tied up in a bow in one episode, but nothing happens. You could watch season 1, episode 3, or season 6, episode 10, and you can still get the main idea because nothing actually happens. I need a plot in order to be interested in television, and if the plot isn't moving forward fast enough due to my short attention span, then I don't want it. The rant has started. Reason number 3, again, kind of snowballs into that, is I don't like television because I need closure. So many TV shows just take a season and milk it out for as long as they can without ever getting to the point. And once they finally do address a very main plot point, they leave you on a dang cliffhanger. Whether it's for 1 episode or whether it's for a season, they leave you on these cliffhangers, and I get so annoyed because to me the feeling of sitting down and committing myself to watch an hour or 2 of television, I need the closure. I want to feel like I had a start and an end, and I want to feel complete. Because if you leave it on a cliffhanger, it's kind of like that feeling of, you know, like when you bump your arm and you're like, oh, like my elbow's sore and it feels weird. And now I just feel imbalanced all day. I almost need to hit my other elbow in order to feel the equilibrium again. That's what it feels like when you leave me on a cliffhanger, that I feel imbalanced, I feel like I don't have equilibrium, and I feel pissed because now I have to watch an additional hour of television just to scratch that itch when I wasn't planning on watching that additional hour of television. I also hate these shows that do these slow burns, where it takes them 10 episodes and therefore 10 hours to address a plot point or to address some sexual tension between the characters, and I just lose interest. I kid you not, a great example is I started watching New Girl, and I loved New Girl. The writing was terrific, the show was hilarious. All of the shows that I mentioned so far are wonderful shows. But the problem is that nothing happens, that the only plot I started caring about was Nick and Jess finally kissing. And I kid you not, on the episode where they finally kissed, that was the last episode I ever saw because I was like, finally, they kiss, they're gonna be together. I don't need to see the rest of the show, I'm good. I spent a season and a half getting up to this point. That's all I needed, I'm done. These slow burns, it's like I just lose interest, and once it finally happens, I'm like, all right, that's enough, I don't need any more. So cliffhangers and slow burns don't give me the closure I need when I sit down to dedicate myself to watching a show, that I just can't do it. Can't do those TV shows. And then also related to this, I don't know if this counts as a cliffhanger or just the nature of the television business, I can't do these shows where they leave you on this crazy cliffhanger and then you know you have to wait 2 or 3 years for the next season. Like freaking Stranger Things, they leave you on this giant cliffhanger and then they're like, all right, well, we'll see you in 2 years because we obviously have to film the season. Then I'm like, no, I need it now. Because the thing with that is in 2 years, I'm gonna be like, oh shoot, I forgot what happens. Let me go back and revisit it. But I don't wanna waste my time rewatching a show. I'd rather just get the full start to end all in one sitting. Oh, another reason why I hate current television on these streaming platforms is not actually a bad thing, it's just not for me. And that's that they focus so much on cinematography and creating art that it goes back to the idea that they're so focused on the beautiful look of the show that no plot actually happens. And that's one of the reasons I've been boycotting Euphoria. Euphoria season 1 was not only visually beautiful, but it was so dramatic. There was this twist and turn every single episode, and it was enthralling. Season 2, I couldn't get past like episode 4 because I was like, nothing is happening. There was literally an 8-minute long drunk driving scene with cute music. Meanwhile, they're not addressing what happened to Nate and Jules when that was the whole buildup of season 1. And then they just don't address any of the plots the whole season. Like, what the heck happened with Rue? Was she sex trafficked or not? Or why do you only care about focusing on Cassie with all the flowers around her? Like, yes, that's a beautiful shot, but you're not addressing what the frick I want to know. You're not addressing the questions. You're not moving the plot forward. You're just going, hey, we have $1 million to spend on this one scene. Let's go all out and milk it for 5 minutes. I don't care. I am not the audience for that. If I wanted to watch beautiful cinema, I will sit down and watch a beautiful cinematic 2-hour-long movie. I don't want it in my TV shows where I have a finite amount of time at night to sit down and watch a TV show for it to all just be about you driving around in slow motion. I don't want that. I guess another example of cinematography versus actual plot are a lot of the shows where they focus on like the fashion and not the plot, where it's like you could tell all of the budget went into getting designer clothes, but you didn't think to pay your writers to write a good twist or plot point, you know? Like some examples would be like Emily in Paris or the new Sex and the City reboot, where it's like some of those plot lines were just so dull and diluted and boring because it's like, but look, fashion, pretty, don't you wish you could walk around in Paris? And it's like, yeah, but I come to TV for the story. You're not giving me a story. You're just giving me something pretty to look at. And for me personally, that's just not enough to keep my attention. And the last reason, it's actually a couple of reasons, but the last reason why I just can't stand modern television and popular TV shows is that they are just way longer than they need to be. I feel like what happens with a lot of TV shows is that they get one season, kind of planning it for it to be like a 1 or 3 season long show, but then it goes viral. It blows up, everybody loves it, that then they're like, well, we only have 3 seasons of a plot, but let's stretch that out over 6 seasons because people are gonna come watch it so we can make money, we can really progress some of these story arcs, but again, no plot is actually happening. So I feel like half of these shows could be condensed down to the meat and potatoes in only 3 seasons. So I feel like a lot of directors or TV studios are trying to stretch these out and really build upon the character arcs without actually moving the plot forward. But I feel like one of the worst results of this is one of my biggest pet peeves is that because of that, they're too scared to kill off their main characters. They give these actors these super long contracts, and so you know they're not gonna die, and so it feels like there's no stakes at these TV shows. So I'm gonna harp on Stranger Things a little bit, so here's some spoilers. Is that you have, your main cast, and you've had these main cast for what? We've been watching Stranger Things for 6 years now. Nobody has died. What they do is they introduce these supplementary side characters that they make you fall in love with, and then you kill them off. So you get that bit of heartbreak of like, no, Netflix, how could you kill off Eddie? Like, why would you kill off that little Russian guy who we all love? But there's no stakes because none of the kids actually die. Pennywise is eating children on the regular. Stranger Things needs to kill its kids. Probably can't say that on YouTube, but it needs to kill some of their main characters because I'm not actually worried about them. They killed off Max, but Max isn't dead. She's in a coma. They're probably gonna bring her back for season 5 and still use that actress. There is no stakes in the game, so I'm not worried for them. I don't feel the tension, like, yeah, it's scary and you don't know what's gonna happen next. But so many TV shows are just too scared to kill off their main characters that it's not enthralling to watch. I'm not worried for them and I don't feel that impact. It's kind of like the argument that I make of Marvel, where I have not watched a Marvel movie since Endgame because I was so pissed that nobody actually died or the ones that they did got a happy ending. I mean, look at Endgame. Tony Stark sacrificed himself. Black Widow sacrificed herself. Captain America got to grow old and then die. Nobody died in battle. Nobody had this super heartbreaking death of like actually dying because of the battle that they've been building up for 10 years. So it felt like everybody got a happy ending, but it wasn't as heartbreaking as it could have been. If I'm watching TV, I want to feel shattered. I want to feel like, oh my God, Will Byers is dead in Stranger Things. Like, no, he didn't deserve it. Now I'm even more pissed off at Vecna because now I want him to die for that heart-shattering moment. But they're just too scared to do it because they stretch out these seasons and try to get the most out of their actors and characters that they can, that I don't even feel excited to watch because it's like, nah, you won't do it. Eleven's not gonna die, and if she does, you'll just bring her back to life. So what's the point? Do you guys get what I'm saying? I feel like I'm using Stranger Things as the main example here, but a lot of TV shows do it, Like Game of Thrones was killing off too many people, but so many other shows, it's just like, if you gave me one shocking death that wasn't related to the actor's contract ending, where you kind of wonder like, oh, I wonder how they're gonna kill off that character, I will be so much more interested in a TV show like that, where you're always on your toes, you're always on the edge of your seat, and you don't know who's next. Kill your main characters, everyone. Kill off the children. That would make me watch TV. But I'm not a complete curmudgeon when it comes to television. I feel like I've been kind of criticizing it and ridiculing it over the past like 20 minutes or so, but I do like some television shows. My favorite TV show of all time is Black Mirror. And I kind of realized recently of, oh my God, I love Black Mirror because it perfectly addresses everything that I complained about. Because every episode is just a mini movie. Everything from start to finish is tied up with a bow, and yes, it's kind of disturbing, but they're just like limited episodes where you don't need to watch the whole season. You can pick and choose your episodes, get a full story in its entirety, and then be done. And then that itch is scratched, I don't feel imbalanced, my equilibrium is good, and I just got a little mini movie out of it. Similarly, I love limited series, and I think all the streaming platforms really need to emphasize these limited series. So I think the most recent one I watched was Candy on Hulu with Jessica Biel. That was great because you know it's just 5 episodes telling this story, and yes, it was probably a little bit longer than it needed to be, but you know by the end of episode 5, that's it. That's the end of the story. They're not going to try to milk it for 3 seasons long because they know that they can. So it feels very fulfilling and gratifying, but also like I got the full TV experience of watching a show. Similarly, on Netflix, I love The Haunting of Bly Manor and Hill House. I love Midnight Mass. Also, I should mention, if you guys don't know, I only watch scary movies and like thrillers and horrors. So all the examples that I'm giving are very morbid, but I love those kind of things. So it's still those high quality, cinematically beautifully shot and directed shows. But for somebody with an attention span like me, where you know you only have to commit to 6 episodes and that's it, you get the full story. And I love those. I am also one of those people that's a big fan of true crime shows because, again, it's just a case per episode where I can hop around and get a case by case, but I know everything is going to give me closure by the end of the episode, that I don't need to feel like, oh shoot, I still have 5 more hours of TV to watch before that plot point is finally resolved. Maybe I'll get to it on Friday. No, give me a half-hour true crime story where I learn about the victim, the case, the conviction, what happened to them, all of that, and then I'm done and can move on with my life. But lastly, the biggest perpetrator of why I don't like traditional television is because I like YouTube. I am a YouTube watcher through and through, but I feel like every YouTube video is a neatly tied up with a bow episode that I don't need to like, all right guys, tune in next week for what happens next. That's just not how YouTube is, and I'm sure there are series like that, but it's more so of you're just sitting down and that 20-minute long video has a start and an end, and that's all I need. I get my closure, my attention span is there. Maybe it's not as beautifully shot as all of these TV shows, but that's not what I look for in a video. I look for a story. I look for a plot. I look for a start and an end, and YouTube gives that to me. So if you like that too, subscribe to my channel so you can listen to my stories. Was this video just a big long commercial to subscribe to my channel? No, that wasn't the intention, but I'll say it here now. If you like this video, subscribe, because you can just put me on in the background and not have to focus all of your attention on a TV show that's gonna spread it out for a season long. Instead, you could watch one of my 20-minute long videos and get the full story and feel that balance and equilibrium. Don't worry, I got you guys. Wow, but that was my ranty chit chat about why I don't like television. Again, Stranger Things kind of inspired this because I'm just like, I'm just done watching Stranger Things. I'm not gonna watch it again in 2 years because you guys are just stretching it out so long. Just make it a 3-season thing and get it over with. I don't know. That's just me. So let me know down in the comments if you are also not a traditional TV watcher, or if you are, maybe some of the recommendations you have for me based on the morbid limited series type of things that I do like. But I wanna hear your guys' thoughts of why maybe I should give TV another chance, why you guys like it, because I don't know, it's summertime. I'm gonna have time. Maybe I'll start a new TV show. So leave me your recommendations down below. But I thank you guys so much for watching this video. And I hope to see you guys in the next story time. Toodles! And like stupid Elliot in Euphoria. Like, why introduce that character? Why are you bringing in this guy that does nothing for the plot? And I'm totally forgetting about who's Cal's brother is, like his mysterious brother. Ooh, my plant is dying. Oh no. No, I'll water it when I'm done. Maybe that's the reason I don't like television, is because I have like ADD and I just can't focus on one thing at a time. Well, I guess that's it. That's the video, you guys. I hate TV because I have ADD.